In the previous study, we saw that the Antichrist is everything, the one who denies that Jesus came in the flesh. That is, denies that the Word became flesh and lives among us. We saw that the book of Revelation does not refer to the Antichrist, but to the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. This is the reason why it is necessary to identify these characters well. We also saw in the previous study that the scarlet dragon or beast is the devil or Satan himself. In this study, we will see in detail who are Babylon, the beast, the false prophet, and the 7 heads and the 10 horns, characters of the 7th seal. Babylon, the great harlot. As always, we will know the harlot and the characters that make her up in this section of the Bible. Revelation 17, 4-7. The woman wore purple and scarlet clothing, and beautiful jewelry made of gold and precious gems and pearls. In her hand she held a goblet full of obscenities and the impurities of her immorality. A mysterious name was written on her forehead, Babylon the Great, mother of all prostitutes and obscenities in the world. I could see that she was drunk with the blood of God's holy people who were witnesses for Jesus. I stared at her in complete amazement. "Why are you amazed?" the angel asked. "I will tell you the mystery of this woman and of the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns on which she sits." This biblical text refers to 2 characters, the woman and the scarlet beast or dragon. Revelation 17:3. So the angel took me in the spirit into the wilderness. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that had 7 heads and 10 horns, and blasphemies against God were written all over it. The Bible clearly says that that woman, whose doctrine or law comes from the scarlet beast or the dragon, is a city in which all she teaches are lies, that she dresses in scarlet and reigns or directs almost all rulers of the earth. Revelation 17:18. And this woman you saw in your own vision represents the great city that rules over the kings of the world. This woman or harlot city called Babylon has ordered the murder of the Jews and the martyrs of Jesus. The word saints means separated or chosen, and we all know that the people chosen by God and named after him are Israel, the Jewish people, and we know that some religions, in their desire to win followers, persecuted and still persecute believers in Jesus who preach truth in the light of the Holy Scriptures. The golden cup full of abominations and filth of its fornication. This spiritually refers to the idols and abomination, or cults, to invoke the dead. Call them Mary, Joseph, Peter, Teresa, or whatever the dead are called. So according to the Bible, Revelation 21:8. But cowards, unbelievers, the corrupt, murderers, the immoral, those who practice witchcraft, idol worshippers, and all liars, their fate is the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death. This city or woman is a great system or religion to which many people of different nationalities and languages belong. Revelation 17:15. The angel said to me, "The waters where the prostitute is ruling represents masses of people of every nation and language." The 7 heads of Babylon are rulers of Babylon, the harlot city, which has ruled for many years. Revelation 17:12. The 10 horns of the beast are the 10 kings who have not yet risen to power. They will be appointed to their kingdoms for one brief moment to reign with the beast. These 10 will take authority for an hour, and will make some decisions, along with the beast. Since they have no kingdom, it has to be a satanic meeting or a hidden society of some sort, which is surely forming by a globalized system. Revelation 17:7-8. Why are you so amazed? The angel asked. I will tell you the mystery of this woman and of the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns on which she sits. The beast you saw was once alive, but isn't now, and yet he will soon come up out of the bottomless pit and go to eternal destruction. And the people who belong to this world, whose names were not written in the book of life before the world was made, will be amazed at the reappearance of this beast who had died. Let's try to analyze this mystery like this. When it says, the beast you saw was once alive, that means that it existed. And when it says, but isn't now, that means it no longer exists or died. And when it says that he will soon come up out of the bottomless pit, it means that he will reappear again. We have the answers to this mystery today. It's a clone. Only a clone can fulfill these characteristics and also rise from the abyss, since a clone has neither spirit nor soul. As the Apostle Paul said, 2 Thessalonians 2:9, This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. When those men whose names are not written in the book of life and who were not taken away for that reason see the beast that has died and is now living, not knowing that it is a clone, they will be amazed and adore him. We are going to try to solve the mystery of the beast, which is one of the 7 heads, of a very old religious system like this. Revelation 17, 9-10. This calls for a mind with understanding. The 7 heads of the beast represent the 7 hills where the woman rules. They also represent 7 kings. 5 kings have already fallen, the 6th now reigns, and the 7th is yet to come, but his reign will be brief. Since 1948, when the clock of God began to rule again and Israel returned to being a nation, 7 heads, or popes, have ruled in the Catholic religion. 5 have already died, and the 6th is Benedict, and the 7th governs Francisco, which should last a short time. But the Bible says, in Revelation 17:11, the scarlet beast that was, but is no longer, is the 8th king. He is like the other 7, and he too is headed for destruction. In order to tell who the cloned beast is, we must take into account the time when a clone, Dolly, the sheep, first came to life more than 20 years ago. So only John Paul II can be the cloned candidate. They made a Mason-style burial for John Paul II. They keep his body embalmed and keep his blood, which they carry and exhibit in different countries, implying that their DNA can be checked at any time. The false prophet. Daniel's prophecy for the end times says this. Daniel 7:23-24. And then he said to me, this 4th beast is the 4th world power that will rule the earth. It will be different from all the others. It will devour the whole world, trampling and crushing everything in its path. Its 10 horns are 10 kings who will rule that empire, and the other king will arise different from the other 10, who will subdue 3 of them. As the prophet Daniel said, the 4th one is a different character who will come to those 10 kings that form the coalition or satanic cult to rule the world. This character is also known as Beast because of his wickedness, but he will be a man because he arises from the earth, and he will have 2 horns or allies. Let's look according to the word. Revelation 13:11-12. Then I saw another beast come up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like those of a lamb. He spoke with the voice of a dragon. He exercised all the authority of the first beast, and he required all the earth and its people to worship the first beast whose fatal wound had been healed. Both the beast or clone that rose from the abyss and this beast that rose from the earth or false prophet, the dragon will give them such authority, and they will be able to do and undo as they wish. We will see in the development of the 7th seal, so much so that the false prophet will be the only one who decides to place the mark of the beast on the hand or forehead, the 666. The one who forces everyone to worship the image of the cloned beast, both blaspheme against God and do wonders and signs. This false prophet comes from the Middle East, which is why he is different from the others. The Muslims have been preparing for more than 50 years the way to their Messiah, the 12th magnet, and the owners of oil. They finance some terrorist fanatics to go around the world murdering Christians and Jews and destabilizing governments because according to the doctrine that they have received since childhood, their Messiah will come to put peace in the world, but the world must be in complete chaos and they want to cause it. All those who join this movement or ideology always use a sign. This is the flag or cloth that they will wear on their neck or on their shoulders, indicating that they support their cause. The beasts or wicked rulers have already formed a great world army of almost 200 million soldiers ready to die, ready to kill, and commit suicide for their God's sake. The hidden society has existed since the times of Nimrod, who ruled or reigned over the entire land of Shinar, starting from Babel. He was very powerful. Genesis 10:8. Cush was known also the ancestor of Nimrod, who was the first heroic warrior on earth. Freemasonry continues the line of Nimrod, being one of the most prominent at this time. Simeon Bolivar. The Hidden Society places presidents or puppets as leaders of a communist system to rehearse and be able to prepare to manage or control the global government, which is its objective. They easily control everything, from the moment the computer was invented and the first digital database were created. Currently, the digital or check code for computers is the number 666. This number is implicit in all barcodes to be able to buy and sell on a bank card and on digitized documents. In addition, some people and some animals carry it embedded in their bodies through a microchip. This digital and satellite advances are amazing. As a government, they needed an army, and they formed it, taking advantage of the fascism of some people of Islamic doctrine. And at this time, they form an army of more or less 200 million soldiers who are located and well distributed on the borders of different countries of the world. This hidden society already has the support of almost all the countries, and they meet periodically to give their instructions without letting the journalists participate as the G20 did. Furthermore, one wonders why the world powers created, after the Second World War, an internal army. Soldiers, NATO, to defend against whom? Or perhaps the question will be, to attack who? Revelation 2:7. Anyone with ears to hear must listen to the Spirit and understand what he is saying to the churches. To everyone who is victorious, I will give fruit from the tree of life in the paradise of God. Seek God while he can be found. Today is a day of salvation for you. Give your life and your heart to Jesus. He is the only way to get to God. We will continue the next study with the 140,000, the two witnesses, the bowls of wrath, the trumpets, and the war of Armageddon.